Robby, what's on your radar?
Well, ever since Elon Musk announced his plans to purchase Twitter, the Tesla CEO has become the main character of the current political moment. His increasingly rightward shift has won him tremendous loyalty from conservative media and politicians. He declared earlier this week that he would be voting Republican for the first time in his life. Now, this has also earned him, of course, predictable backlash from Team Blue. The two political tribes need clearly defined heroes and villains, and with former President Donald Trump out of the picture, at least for now, Musk was a clear candidate to fill that role. So now we have right-wing media personality Benny Johnson applauding based and red-pilled Musk, while liberal voices in the mainstream lament his turn towards supervillain status. And Twitter's progressive content moderators actually shed tears at the idea of him taking over. So given all this, it does feel somewhat inevitable that Musk would receive new scrutiny by mainstream media figures with special attention paid to his younger years. Was he a racist in high school? The answer unequivocally, no. And of course, any embarrassing sexual scenarios? Well, they found one, allegedly. Late last week, Business Insider reported that Musk had propositioned a flight attendant for sex in 2016 and paid her $250,000 to keep the incident quiet after she threatened him with a lawsuit. Musk has denied the underlying allegation. Predictably, conservatives are rallying to his defense, largely by disputing the suspicious timing of the allegation. Various Fox News personalities are asserting, not wrongly, that liberals are desperate to dig up dirt on Musk. They certainly are. Meanwhile, left-leaning political figures and media personalities are describing the allegations as credible, though they were never litigated in court. The victim has not come forward publicly. Business Insider's story is based on information provided by the victim's friend, which included a declaration signed by the friend in support of the victim's claims. Now, according to the friend, the victim was a flight attendant on Musk's private jet, and she eventually got training to become a masseuse, allegedly because she was told that this would please Musk. SpaceX does offer massage therapy as a perk to employees. In fact, Business Insider noted that in a previous article that did not frame the practice as sinister. It was described as one of the great things about working there. Now, the flight attendant, again, according to the friend, arrived at Musk's room on the jet to perform a full-body massage, and Musk was allegedly naked except for a sheet covering his lower half. According to the friend, during the massage, the declaration says, Musk exposed himself and then touched the flight attendant and offered to buy her a horse if she would do more, referring to the performance of sex acts. The flight attendant, who does ride horses, declined and continued with the massage without engaging in any sexual conduct. The attendant is not for sale, the friend's declaration says. She is not going to perform sexual favors for money or gifts. The incident occurred during a flight to London. According to the friend, the flight attendant said she was punished for refusing the offer. Her employment opportunities were curtailed. She eventually contacted an attorney. Quote, the attendant's complaint was resolved quickly after a session with a mediator that Musk personally attended, end quote. That's according to Business Insider. The matter never reached a court of law or an arbitration proceeding. So Musk paid the flight attendant $250,000 in exchange for her agreeing not to file a lawsuit or publicize her claims. The friend's decision to come forward was done without the victim's consent. Actually, the victim's lawyer urged her not to provide a copy of the signed declaration to the media, according to Business Insider. But she went ahead with it anyway. So we're thus once again in the position of trying to adjudicate a fraught sexual incident that did not rise to the level of criminal behavior and was actually settled quickly out of court. So it would be hard, I think, for an objective person to state with any certainty whether the incident took place as it was described by that friend. The friend wasn't there either. It's not particularly damning to my mind that Musk was partly exposed during a full-body massage being performed by someone who was, in fact, a massage therapist. If he propositioned her for sex, was turned down, and then punished her for it, that would indeed be bad conduct. But all we know for certain is the two parties disagreed about what happened, nevertheless came to a resolution on their own, a $250,000 payment in exchange for silence. So Business Insider is trying to get as much mileage out of this story as they possibly can. They published a follow-up. Quote, Elon Musk was dating Amber Heard and finalizing a divorce around the time he said to have sexually harassed a SpaceX flight attendant. This piece didn't provide any additional evidence at all that the interaction happened the way the flight attendant's friend described it, though its clear purpose is to make readers wonder whether Musk's romance troubles would have made him more likely to take advantage of an employee. And Amber Heard obviously is currently dealing with a Me Too situation of her own. We'll be talking more about that later. But absent additional claims against Musk, this seems to me like an ambiguous episode that was handled appropriately. There aren't really any conclusions to draw from it. In a world where so many mindless partisans want to treat Musk as either a god king or as like Thanos, so that's probably unsatisfying. His new friends on the Republican side want to vindicate and excuse any action he took, and his new enemies on the Democratic side want to bury him. But we don't have a fair system for relitigating every uncomfortable interaction between two human beings after the salience of one or the other suddenly increases, and that's just as well. So the takeaway here should probably be a reminder that under the progressive norm of automatically believing victims, President Joe Biden himself must be considered a rapist who should be immediately removed from office. Remember Tara Reade? Is her allegation against Joe Biden not credible? Wasn't subjected to any legal procedure, neither was Musk's. Now that norm of automatically believing victims is actually silly and should just be discarded, of course. And in fact, it is discarded when the accused is someone who is important to Team Blue. So for consistency's sake, we should probably conclude that there's not much to make of the Me Tooing of Elon Musk. So I read, the story. It was really being talked about on social media a few days ago. What are you supposed to say about it? What are you supposed to do with a long ago incident that was resolved? It was resolved. The woman is not even revisiting it. A friend who was told about it is bringing it into public attention because Elon Musk is now suddenly a very important political person.
Right. And on a gut level and taking in all the evidence that's in the public, feels right. It's like, in this sense, could you imagine this scenario happening the way it's described? Quite easy to imagine. It's saying him making some quip about I'll buy you a horse if you do something more, and her being like, no. Like that, that feels like that could very much happen. That does not seem out of his personality character. Retaliating when she says no, that doesn't seem out of character. She then talks to an attorney. If there was nothing to it, it's hard to see him agreeing to meet in person and do a $250,000 payout. Hard to see it. I mean, anything's possible. It feels pretty credible. However, I do want to, first of all, let me say about Elon Musk. From the left, I love that the right loves him so much. Because if the right continues supporting electric vehicles in order to own libs, there couldn't be a better outcome. Because it would have been so easy for electric vehicles to have taken on this political valence that you cannot drive an electric vehicle because that means you're a cuck who loves Joe Biden or something. You could easily see it developing that way. But because of Musk constantly fighting with the left, now it's like gives permission to people on the right to drive around in EVs.
Positive policy development.
Love it.
But I could see, sure, it could have happened the way you just described it. I could also easily imagine an employee feeling if things are not working out at work, describing an interaction that was benign or maybe it was a joke or something as much worse. And I could absolutely easily see someone in Musk's position agree $250,000, probably life-changing for this person or significant for this person, chump change for Elon Musk. I could absolutely see, you could agree to do that even if you think you did nothing wrong.
Just because you don't want to hash that out.
It's more of a hassle.
That's possible.
100% imagine doing it. Sure, pay her, done.
Yeah, I'll acknowledge that. I'll just say that preponderance of the evidence to me,
I don't know how to say one way or the other. I just don't know how. Yeah. How do we? Somebody says it happened this way. So, and actually, in this case, she's not even saying it happened this way. Someone who knows her said it happened this way. We're all, dealing with against her wishes. Her lawyer's wishes said, do not revisit this. Doing it anyway.
But can we dunk on Musk and agree that his tweet the other day, where he said, "In the past, I voted Democrat because they were mostly the kindness party, but they have become the party of division and hate, so I can no longer support them and will vote Republican. Now, watch their dirty tricks campaign against me unfold." As soon as anybody with any sense saw that, they're like, oh God, what did you do? What are you trying to get ahead of here? And I figured it was some insider trading, not insider trading, but some SEC stuff. The SEC was going to crack down on him for one more thing that he had done, because he's constantly playing fast and loose with SEC rules. So that's what I assumed it was. Turns out, and it's like a day or two later, this story from Business Insider came out. He knew that story was coming. And so he preps the ground for everybody by saying, I'm going to vote Republican. And in the very same tweet says, and now I'm going to get retaliated against for the thing that I just said. It's like, come on, man, you think we're all stupid?
Well, but he is kind of facing retaliation for his increasing association with the right and his distance from the Democratic Party.
That's also true. This particular thing, though, he was just playing. He's just messing with people. But yes, he is like a story about how he grew up in apartheid South Africa.
Right, and that story was a swing and a miss.
Right.
New York Times went to talk to people he went to high school with, desperate. You could sense, you could feel their desperation to find. Please just say he used the N-word. Please tell me he did. And what they found out was that despite growing up in this environment where racism was the state policy and racism is forced on you, he and his family really stridently rejected it, even beyond what might have been expected, and that he was close with classmates who were black, that he attended the funeral of a black friend of his that was unheard of for white people to do at the time. It made me like Musk more. So there's been a lot of misses in the media attempt to kind of discredit him so far, and I kind of think this is another one. A Business Insider was just clearly so happy to have this story, and that I was going through a divorce with Amber Heard at the time.
To get the document is
I don't know what to do with. Again, it was not a criminal matter. They settled. If they agreed to a resolution, what business of it is ours at some point, right? I don't know.
Business Insider.
It's Business Insider's business, so it's all of our business.
Now go out and get those EVs and own the libs.
Oh, all right. You'll make Ryan happy, I guess.
No, it made me angry. Just be so mad if you get an EV. Do not do that.
Ryan forbids you to get an electric car.
Yeah, don't do it. Please don't do it.
Well, we'll be back with more Rising right after this.